we'll go back and add a new. Now we're not going to, because all three of us are sort of looking at this site, we won't all be able to install. I'll sort of walk through the install. You can kind of watch me do it, and maybe we can have somebody else one at a time, you know, work on this. So yeah, the testimonial, definitely, you know, now that we know, you don't want to look at ones that say untested, because it's looking at your existing website, and we really want to look at the ones that are compatible, because we don't want to, trust me, you don't want a white screen, or it can crash your WordPress site with incompatibility. So you want to definitely look for something that's got a lot of active installs. So like Ray, this was the one you looked at, which was right. It had at least 4 stars. It was updated, you know, 4 weeks ago, compatible, and 40,000 active installs is pretty good. Because if we go down this list, I'm just doing a quick look. You know, this has 5 stars, but it's only 2,000 active installs, and only 8 people have given it, versus 55 people have rated it. So if I wanted to try a couple, because sometimes I open it and it doesn't do exactly what I want it to do, I would probably definitely maybe come back and try this other one. But we'll install this one so you guys can kind of see. I'm not familiar with this one, so we can walk through what I normally do when I have a new plugin. But we'll also take a look at, if you click on it, you can get the details right here of the plugin, what it's going to do. So this one adds testimonials to the sidebar as a widget, or you can embed the testimonials into a page or post. So that's cool. And that's using simple shortcode. So this looks pretty good, and you can set up random. I like, depending on what we.
Oops, sorry.
Your phone?
Yeah. Hang on. I keep getting restricted calls, and I pick up and nobody's there. I don't know what it is.
Somebody's got your number.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about widget areas and sidebars. So this is actually a good plugin. We'll play a little bit with putting it in a sidebar and as a widget, and how we can put it into your main content area. So I think this looks pretty good. The screenshots are showing. Okay, add new testimonial. So we'll have to figure out how to set this one up. So it looks like you create testimonial pages. Yeah, so we'll have to sort of take a look at this. Let's see how easy this is to use. So once you decide that, okay, this is the one that I want to do, you can just click over install. It's pretty easy to add plugins. So we install it, and then it'll change to activate, and we want to you click to activate it. That turns it on. And then it brings us right to its testimonial sort of page. What it does is it brings this plugin brings in its details in your access into this left sidebar. And looks like they have an upgrade. It has some getting started. I just want to see what they're. So it brings over their site, adding a new testament file list guide. not sure if I could sometimes I can figure these out myself, but I will actually take some time to actually read through to set this up. So it's not a real easy one to set up. So maybe we'll leave this to set up later. Deleting. So yes, I have to do, you're always researching and learning. So to set this one up, we have to visit a new testimonial page. So testimonials, so we create a new testimonial page. Okay, you fill out the content. We'll use a little lorem ipsum here to test it with. And it has categories. And then, oh, this is pretty easy. So the information they're asking for that you plug in, this will all put it in, is the client's name, email, as much as you want. So let me go over and set one up. I think I can figure this out so you guys can see what this is going to do. So it has two parts over here. It has the plugin information to set up your basic settings, custom style sheets, compatibility, display settings. So this is how you sort of set it up. But they have testimonials up here is where we create the testimonials. Do a new one. We get some dummy text. I can't believe it's March.
I know. Thank God. I just want the winter over.
Well, I'm nervous. It's snowing here now. I'm like, yikes.
Oh.
Okay, so we're under testimonials, and it's we have posts like we talked about when you were working on the managed WordPress sites, and there's pages, and so the testimonials we would actually put in. So if we had some client testimonials, we would put them in here. I'm just giving it my name. I'll pretend I'm the client. I'm not going to put an email address. A title. I just want to see how this is going to... I just do a, call it client category. Okay, I know I'm going to try and put it in content right now, that a short code is what's generated. Let me go. I didn't spell client right. I can't delete it. Shoot. Make sure you spell right. Anyhow, I'm going to publish it to save it. And then I'm smart enough, I think I'm smart enough to understand that if I select this short code would allow me to place this in a web page, in the content at this point. So I'm going to go over to a page. Oh, I don't have I'm trying to find a page that might have some content in it. Here's one. Oh, I have Beaver Builder in here. Beaver Builders, I will show you guys later. It's a different text editor so that you can work within your. I'll just make some new content here. Okay, so I've made a page with some generic content. Now I need to go back and get that code. I lost it. So shortcode is a way to bring content over. What's nice is this shortcode, if I go to testimonials, because I created this testimonial, I can see the information and the shortcode will be right here. And I just want to select that to copy that.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to that page. And I paste this in here. I've got to see if this works. I'm going to hit preview and see what this page looks like. And so this is how this formatted it. It has it go over this one single quote. I don't know if you guys can see it. So it put a quote and automatically brought my name, you know, and my title. It's all kind of formatted. So it put this in here, right here, as pre-formatted. So if I wanted to do a page of testimonials, they would all be formatted. So if I wanted to bring some others in, hopefully you guys can see this. So it formats it with this little quote and it goes over it. So it's sort of pre-formatting it. And I'm sure there's different formats we can set up how those testimonials will show. Now I'm going to go see what it looks like in a widget area. If we go to now the widget areas are in your appearance. Oops. I'm going to save that page. The widgets are under appearance. You click on widgets. The widgets adds functionality. Have I talked that much about widgets yet? A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. We were looking at sort of the front end. Now we're working a little bit differently in the back end of the widget areas. And the right side are the widget areas we have. We have widgets on this template in the footer, which I've placed a couple in here. I'll show you the actual site so we can see. Refresh this. So this is just a class site that I've been working with. It has nothing. So this is a whole footer widget area. I played around with a button that goes to a contact form. I pulled in some social media stuff. Apparently I played with 2 different social medias. And I pulled in a map for location and put a little search here. These I turn on in the widget area. Those are basically the Find Us is the map that I brought in. I'll show you later how to bring this in. It looks confusing, but Google makes it pretty easy. It's a copy and paste. This is one of the social medias brought in, and another social media. So I'm going to, if we look at this page, I'm going to delete this social media right now because I played with two versions. And to delete that, it's this one. I just go and delete it. And if I come over and I just refresh the page, it's reordered these because now it's made it's 4 columns and it put it over here. I have my page pretty big too. So I'm going to easy testimonial grid, testimonial list. Oh, okay. So to get your widgets over in this area, it's a drag and drop, or you can click a down arrow that'll bring it in. The testimonial brought in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways to display a testimonial. And oh, it actually adds a submission form. I didn't realize that. So I'm going to add a submission form. So I click on this. It will tell me, do I want to add it to the sidebar or the footer? I'm going to add it to the sidebar. I'm just kind of curious. Oh, now it tells me I have to buy a paid version, so I can't use it. So if I upgrade to the paid version, I can have people automatically submit testimonials off the website, which would be really cool to be able to do that. You could just redirect, customers and clients to, instead of having to collect them, just say, hey, go to the website and can you submit it there? And then you'd have the choice of where you want to display it. So I'm going to delete this one because apparently I need to upgrade to have that feature. I'll be anxious to see how much it costs. It's probably not that much. This random one, let me see if it lets me. Yes, it allows me to default. It has different themes, a light style, clean style. I'm not sure what they look like with filter. So I could choose just categories, which I have that one misspelled category there, and save it. What it's going to do is, this is our sidebar on the right. It's going to add it over here. I'm going to refresh the screen and we'll see what happens, what it looks like. So there it is. See, it just added that little testimonial there. And that's set at random. So if I put 5, if I had a bunch of testimonials, that would rotate. You know what I mean? So and keep refreshing and be something different. So that's really a nice feature to have that there. And now I'll go back and put one down in the footer area. And all of these, you can close them up to see more information, to clean your page. I'm going to add it in the footer. But you have to go usually sort of choose the category. I mean, right now, if I had to, I wanted all of my testimonials to go through this, it would work. And you can tell how many, you can ask how many can display at a time. This is set to 5, but I only have 1 testimonial in there. So if I went and put a bunch more, you'd see how they would all appear there. So I'm going to leave this one at all. And you can give it a title if you wanted to, or just leave them as, you know, if you wanted to have a title, you know, it will show, because right now this just has a testimonial here, but now when I click this button and save, okay, this one I'm saving to the footer. So this one's in the footer, and I put a title on it. I'm going to refresh my screen. And now it brought in the name testimonials. So these are kind of going through here. So it brings a testimonial in here. And the position is going to change because this is set as a 4-column. I'm going to get rid of, this. This is actually a button. And now to change the order of this, now I've just got rid of the button. So now I have 4 columns here. I'm going to push this search over to the testimonial page. And I'm going to put testimonials near the map. To do that, it's just drag and drop. So I just grab the testimonials. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to mount the search at the end. And if I refresh the screen, I've reordered them. Ta-da! So I moved it over here. So you can move your positioning of where you want them. How confused or scared are you at this point?
I think it's just going to require like playing around with, you know.
Yeah, that's why I've given you guys access to this site. You know, play with it. Hopefully someone else isn't in working on it when you are, but I'm not expecting anything to stay or be permanent. This is just a playground for us before I, you know, send you off on your own sites to be able to do this. And we'll just sort of work on this site for a little while, just so you can feel where everything is. That we're working on the same theme and everything. I am recording this, so you'll have like an hour or so recording that you can kind of reference back to look at everything. But there's a lot of stuff. I mean, did you know what that testimonial plugin would do?
No.
Yeah. So that's what the beauty of a content management system and the various plugins is. It really eliminates you having to hand code. These plugin developers, they've done all the code writing for you. And if we can just choose a really dependable one, you can bring so much functionality into your website. And that's why, you know, I want you to kind of like understand, you know, plugins, and there's so many functionality and plugins to use that add, you know, how you do things. And now you're going to look at websites and realize, okay, a plugin brought this map in here. Okay, but I didn't have to figure out how to code it. And if we threw in a couple other, I'm going to throw a couple other testimonials in so we can just see the looks. Let me just go over, I'll make a couple other generic testimonials. This is actually a nice plugin that would work really well. You can use this if you have a really good reference and you like, maybe they gave you a reference letter. This would be a good, you could use this to put some, what people have said about you, you know, even if you had your own portfolio site, you could use it as a tool like that. And just giving these random names. Let me just throw a couple in so you can see when we have a bunch in there. And by doing different categories, because you might have different, like if you were selling products or services, you might want to break those down and show only, for specific services in a certain area of your website. So categories is something you're going to deal with a lot and think about. That's how you can separate and push certain content in different areas. Like one more. I should just realize it grabs a gravatar. So I'm going to actually put my gravatar, which is your image if you have a Google account and you actually have a photo assigned to your account. I'm going to see how it pulls it in, because that's really cool too. Okay, now I'm going to go refresh. I just added 3 testimonials. I'm just going to see what it does when I refresh now. It might not change one because one I had set. Oh, I did something in that one. Okay, so this one I'd set to do more, but I did a mistake when I saved the content. Which means we go here. No. So I hope I didn't pull my gravatar like it said it would. That might be a paid feature. And oh, maybe I didn't save this. Date. I have to delete that one. It seems like it's not updating that one. I'm just going to delete that one. Which is kind of weird. It's not updating it. So you can delete things too. I moved that one to the trash. So if I've got 2 now, so this one's putting 2 in the list here. And you can control how many go in there. So, and then we had it in the content another page. So you wouldn't put them all over. I'm just sort of showing you that you can put it into right sidebar and a widget area to do that. Yeah, I think I'll show you guys Beaver Builder next class, which is really nice because Beaver Builder lets you do some different, helps you format your page, which I think Andrew would like. It sets columns, so you can structure your page differently, and it's kind of fun to work with. So I think I'll review that maybe next class with you guys. And then it'll get you out of whether you want to work in a drag and drop editor or a the standard WYSIWYG that we use for adding content in this when you deal with the pages.
Okay.
And if you guys notice when we're working on pages here, we can do some upfront like you guys are used to with a customizer, but this is where we put the content in right here. You can go to customize and work in the same sort of mode that you guys we were working. This probably looks a little more familiar when we were working WordPress before. And there's some controls here to play with, your header images. And there's a slider. So I have this custom that I put in here. So you can sort of work in here a little bit as well. And what's nice too is when we work in this version of WordPress, we can do some custom CSS, which would change some formatting on the page. CSS is a little coding. I'll talk about that a little bit more, and it's fun because sometimes you want to just maybe change the headings over here because we don't want them black. We want them to be green. And there's some easy code that you can research and look up and be able to customize and do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we could look at, I'm trying to think of another. So that's installing a plugin. Andrew, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing it, it definitely makes sense, and it's, you can follow it along, and that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna just start working more in this, adding things. I think what I'm gonna do, we don't want to. You can't work on the same, because we're going to all be working on the same website. You can't work on the same page. Why don't I make you each a page? Or that will be your homework. I want you guys to, this will be one thing we'll do. I'm going to have you go make your own page. You can name it anything you want, and that will be a page for you to add some content and add an image. And you can use the images we've used for the classwork, or you can use something else. The editor is the same. You would add a new page. The editor looks a little bit different here. It's the same thing. You give it a page title. You put your content in here. Things look a little different because I've got some things added, but you've got your same formatting here to choose your H2 and your paragraph for your text. Remember, we need to always use this as your text formatting. You can, let me pull in some content. You can add, like this would be the hierarchy. This would be an H2. I can, if I wanted to, I can add bold. Actually, this is what, okay, this is what you're going to do. I'm talking out loud. You're gonna make your own page. You're gonna add some content because I'm building on the skills that we've been working on. You're gonna add an image, and now we did this testimonial plugin. And add a testimonial to this page. And you're gonna be like, okay. So I'm gonna name this one. I'm gonna name this Kara's page. This will be here so you can look at my page if you want to open it. You can open any of the pages. There's nothing that you can't see on this website. And I'm going to throw in an image. So I go to the media. You can play with any of the images. There's stuff that I've just kind of thrown in here. And some of them might be some of the images I already have. So I'm just going to grab this image. I'm going to insert it. I'm going to decide I want it over here. Now what I'm going to do is, when you're working in the content here, I'm going to add one of the testimonials that I just wrote. So what I'm going to do is put my cursor here. I'm going to put a testimonial right in the middle here. So this is how you put a testimonial in the content. If you notice, testimonials has been added up here, right here. I can choose testimonials, and I can choose a list of testimonies random or a single testimonial. And then it's going to ask me, ooh, I can choose which testimonial to put in there. And I'll insert it, and it puts it right there, the code for me. So this is being videotaped, so you guys can go watch this. I might even just break it out for you as a separate video. And then if I hit preview for this page that I just built, if you hit preview, it doesn't save the page. It lets you go see the page. So now I have a page title. I've got an H2 tag up here. I've got content. My image is here. And look, it brings in a testimonial right there for me. So I think do you think you guys can do this?
Yeah, can you format that testimonial to be like indented or something so it doesn't look like the text?
Well, let me publish this. That's where we'd have to go. Well, it's pre-formatted, and what we would need to do is go look at the settings, basic display settings. So if we came over here, okay, they want us to pay to change. We could change the fonts. We could, okay, apparently it does allow some thumbnails, but we're not dealing with that. Slideshows. Fields, width options. If you want to select, set a global width. Okay, we do checking theme. Some of the features you have to pay for this. We can go see how much it costs, but of course they're telling us we can save 10% if we buy it now. Theme. Okay, they have some paid themes. I think I was doing it's a default. Okay, so these are the themes. So based on how you want to use them, clicking through the different themes, I just lightened the back. Wonder if I say that theme, if that's going to change it now to have a gray background behind it. No, because I think I have to figure out where I chose the theme. So it's, to answer your question, Andrew, based on the free version of this, we would have to stick to the formatting and as much customizing as we can back through here. Let's see what the basic settings are. But what's nice about this, once you got it formatted, if you wanted to customize it, the continuity throughout the site would be the same. You know, so you're just putting the code in and you're scattering those testimonials where you want them to be, and it won't change. You know, your site will be consistent looking and would you don't have to keep formatting it, which is really nice. But you do have those restrictions, like Andrew, you're like, I would like it indented. What I would have to do is go figure out the custom code, and I could write it so that it would all be indented. I would probably put padding or a little margin so that every one of them will be indented, but indented. So you can do some custom coding there as well. It looks like, oh, they even give me, this doesn't probably mean anything to, these are the CS classes. So the classes are like this block quote dot easy. This is what I would be targeting to change, and I might actually be able to use that to change an indent, and then I can write code to it. So they're really nice. They give you the code, then you just need to fill in what you want it to do, which means nothing to you guys now, but that's actually a nice feature to be able to target that. So I'm going to do, one of your homeworks is to create a page. You can name it your page, whatever. It's all just to get you to navigate back here. I mean, I'm not grading you. I just want you to be able to know that you've gone and worked on it, that you can go back here, find your page, create a page. You can look at my page and go, oh, so yeah, that's how she formatted it, and she put in an image. So there's images here you can just steal from. So if you don't want to import your own image, or if you want to challenge yourself, you can import an image. And just remember, now you can select the code, and it'll drop in. So I think I'm gonna have you add a testimonial. So that you can choose it from this list. And you guys can do this. You won't break anything. So this is a really good plugin for us to feel, how to put it in. I'm not going to have you deal with doing the widget areas because I put it there, and if you guys put it in, you'll change someone else's. So we'll just deal with putting this plugin and utilize it within the content. And so remember, you can choose it from here when you can actually do a random. Let me play with this one. We can do, because I only have 2 in there. If I do a random testimonial, I'm going to see what it looks like. So the random testimonials, and I chose the light theme, would be good if you wanted to do a testimonial page maybe. It puts a gray background around it. And there's different themes, and if I changed it, so that's bringing in more So you can change the theme, light, clean, style, dark light. But a lot of themes are set up, plugins are set up this way. So you got to play with what's going to work with your site. And so I just brought it back to the clean one. The clean one doesn't have anything around it. So you can play with the theme, whether you like which one of those themes, to bring it in based on the page that you're putting it in. And
I wonder if you could click on that URL that you bring in, the short
the
URL,
short code, yeah.
and then style it with a style sheet.
Yeah, that's what the codes that I was showing you. So I'd have to target, if I wanted to do just this one, I would target the ID 72, and if I wanted to style it, or I can style it with change, because right now they're not letting us change the font, which if this font was a little bit different, I think it would stand out better.
But remember how you had a full quote or something, and it had a background and a little rule on the edge, the left edge or whatever.
Yeah, we have block quotes to do that.
Yeah, I mean, turn it into a block quote. Is that awesome?
Yeah. The beauty of using this plugin and using its format, if you scatter these throughout, they're all going to look the same. You don't have to change them.
Oh, I see. Then
yeah, the block quote, like the block quote, if I turn this into a block quote, you can still use block quotes to pull stuff out. I'll show you what it looks like. So the block quote it's actually pulling the theme's block quote anyhow. So that's so actually some plugins they'll work with your existing themes stuff. So it's using our typical, block quote, but it brings the letters over, it formats it, and it actually throws in and formats the person's name and automatically puts it in italic. So the beauty of using a plugin, it actually becomes less work. So if you don't forget, so you can just go grab it, drop it in. Especially if you already have your testimonials already written, you can just put them all in there, and that way you can grab them and put them wherever you want on your site. And
right. So put it in the code, but don't manually mess around with it.
Yeah.
For trouble.
You can go in if you're like, I really going to tweak this, and I want to come up with a specific style for this to look like, then I would go and work on the CSS and do a little custom coding. Because what if, say, I wanted this in color? I could change, this little quote in the background to a color, and change the font. You can actually custom code it, and then once that's done, they'll all come in that same format and stuff. So that's stuff you have to decide when you're working with plugins. How much you want to go in and do that, and sometimes you need to do it, and sometimes you don't. And some of them don't really integrate very well with your theme, and you need to go kind of touch them up so that they actually match either your fonts or the color schemes. Good plugins usually will have an option that it will integrate with your theme, because this one's already pulling the same font that was chosen to keep consistency there. So short code, you're going to see that a lot in plugins. It's a way to just put it in your content, put it every place else without you having to physically sort of do it. You can grab, it's a nice drop down. You'll see a lot of themes saying, has short code, which is good, because that means I can put it into content. Which this is a content area versus because you have a content area, you have a sidebar, and you have footer areas, as well as a header, which is at the top of the website, which are areas that you can push different content to. And using your short codes, It makes it easier to do it. It's just putting in the code, and the plugins do all the work for you. But it takes a little time to learn the plugin. Ooh, is this one? Do I like this one? And I usually try several plugins, unless it's like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. Sometimes you're like, not quite sure. I do like this plugin. I've never used it. Some of my other themes have a testimonial feature already built into them, which is something when you bought. I have I purchase theme packages for some high quality stuff, and that stuff's sort of integrated into it. But to add it on, this one's a nice one. Oh, and it has help instructions. Oops. It always tells you when you didn't save. And so you got help instructions. I wanted to see what they look like. So yeah, there's some documentation here, which is good. So if you get stuck, you can go over and look. I'm curious to see how much this costs to upgrade. Ooh, this is a pretty premium. It's $59 a site. But if I was working with a client, and this is exactly, and we were going to do a lot of testimonials, and it really worked really well and simplified it, because if they just knew they needed to just type in to copy and paste that testimonial, fill in the person's name, and this does it for them, and the code, you can keep adding to the add-on where we just put the testimonials. They're automatically going where the code is. So I don't have to go keep putting the code in, especially have it set up to randomly show maybe 5. It will just keep doing it. And it would be worth it for me to upgrade, especially because the features, okay, this is the pro version. It's giving me a sample of some of the pro version right here at the bottom, which are kind of nice. It pretty much would set this up with a gravatar, and if I wanted people to give me ratings as the name, this is a nice setup to see things. It's just giving me a sample of some other formats that could be used. It just gives me those as samples, but so you can, and this can be set up as a scrolling. So a paid version would allow some different features there. So as a developer, I could buy a package. So if I had a large client base, I could just unlimited sites. So it's a one-time fee to pay that. And it's $59 to do it. And that just opens up all those other features, so I could really customize the font and without having to do tons of custom code. So I would look and see if I think this would be worth spending $59 to do it. I'm just curious to see what they're, okay. Oh, and this is a submit form. So if I get the paid version, what's nice about the paid version and having the form on your site, if this was for a large company, it really mattered to get testimonials and some ratings, this would allow people to directly send it in, and it would go right to, probably create it right to the testimonial page, and then I would just have to approve it. So this is a good way to have content come in that I don't have to go find, and let people, send in the comments. And you would be able to decide whether you want to, add it or not, but it would definitely just go in and create that page and give you the content you needed, which is nice. So that's a nice feature. Yeah. So do you see how there's so much I guess it's investigating about a plugin. There's a lot more facts, editing, stuff I can look at. I can spend hours when I have customers that want a specific feature added, and I really have to pinpoint, what one. And sometimes they're like, I don't want to spend any money. I just want to pay
Yeah.
you to set it up. Then what kind of features come with the free version? I have to weigh it out, and then sometimes I have to go back and tell them, I found the perfect one, and I'm going to be honest, here's the free version and here's the paid version, and see what other things this does in that little bit. And it usually it's very easy to persuade them to go, oh my gosh, that's really not that much money. And a lot of plugins range from like $19 to maybe this $59 to purchase the pro versions. And so I try and do the free version first, and then, but sometimes I need to buy the upper features. They hold the good stuff for the paid version. So that submission form is definitely worth purchasing it for. To have this all set up on your website to automatically, retrieve that.
That would save a lot of your own manual labor down the road.
You got it. And that's why even...
penny wise, pound foolish, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'm finding people, well, they're usually like nonprofits that are manually creating their email lists. And I'm like, you don't have an email form on your website. And they're like, well, what does that really do? They didn't realize that you can set up a MailChimp. That MailChimp and Constant Contact are the most popular email companies. They have free versions, and you can actually have a form that directly people sign up. They give them your first name, their email, they click send. It goes right to your email account with them, and it builds your email list. And then what it does is, by doing that, you also don't have to weed out your list, because every time you email through the email, you do a weekly email newsletter to them, or just an email, and it's still set up like a newsletter. Within that is, do you want to unsubscribe? And so the people can make their own choices to, I don't want these emails anymore. And then they can automatically take their name off your list. So your list stays more current and up to date for people that want your email. But it's so funny, a lot of these organizations just don't know how to do that and the importance of it. I mean, they see it on other emails or other websites, but they just don't realize how easy it is to integrate to it at all. Because I do that on all of my sites that have they send out like weekly newsletters or a monthly newsletter. They're not having to copy and paste emails or go look for the emails. The website's the one gathering it, and people are volunteering to sign up because they want to learn more about the business, or they want to get their blog post delivered to their inbox. Do you guys sign up for much?
Yeah, I do. And I unsubscribe, pretty
Yeah.
frequently when I just find myself just getting things sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm pretty good. I mean, I definitely, you guys, if depending what kind of part of the industry you like, if you find someone that writes some really good blogs, it's very informative, definitely sign up for them. And it's easy to unsubscribe. I have probably, I probably have 10 that I really like, and it's nice because the content comes to me, and it kind of helps me with my daily learning that I want to do every day, because that helps me, because I usually can find something, that I can go, wow, that's a really cool technique. Click on it, go over and check it out. Because I have anything from people that write about blogging that helps me. I have designers that write really good blogs about some tips. And I also have entrepreneurship sites that I have the information coming in, which are very helpful. So definitely you should sign up for some stuff. It saves you going to look for it. So if you find something or a website that really puts out some really good informative blogs, definitely sign up for it. It'll kind of keep you on top of what's happening in the industry and everything. So basically, that's all I was going to do for class, because I really want you guys to spend some more time. I don't want to, this is going to be a lot to absorb, but I want you to start feeling comfortable working in WordPress. And, you know, I recorded this, you know, it'll be like an hour recording you can go through. How confused are you? Okay.
Not too bad.
So pretty much, yeah, when you get here, dashboard, I mean, I'm just going to have you work with, I think Ray found a really good plugin, and I just think it's just a good comfort zone. So you're working in just a couple areas. There's just so much to learn back here. So pretty much, so for your homework, you're going to click on Pages when you open up the dashboard. You're going to click on Add a New Page. And you're going to give it a title. You're going to drop in some content, format it based on what we've been talking about. I want you to feel comfortable using paragraphs, heading 2, 3. Just remember, heading 1 is pretty much, it's used for the page title, and we only want it used once. You can use bold and italic. You can use your bulleted list, numbered lists, your alignments, flush left, centered right. I haven't talked about setting links, but if I had some text in here and say I wanted to refer it to, I wanted people to go learn that I got my text from this website, that this lorem ipsum, I want to refer to it, so I would just select this, the text that I want people to click on, and you go up to this link button, you paste in your URL of where you want them to go to, and then you click this little arrow that says apply, and then I have a link. This is a link. It's hard to tell, it's changing its color, so if I click on it, it brings me to this page that I linked it to. So that's one more in your toolbox to feel comfortable with if you want to link to something or a reference. And you can link within your site. So if we were talking about, I want to send people to my service page, so I'm talking about something I did, if I click on this option, it lists all the pages in here that are on my website. So I want to send them to my videos page so that they can watch the video about what I was talking about. I just choose it and click on it, and then it makes this a link in here. The link color is not really visible, so I might want to play with that. But that's how you can link within your pages. If you guys wanted to play around with that, definitely you should feel comfortable with doing that. And then remember to insert a testimonial. That's up here. So just click your cursor, and play with going up to your add media. Definitely feel comfortable about adding your media. I want you to feel comfortable with this. You can choose something that's already in here. This is just our playground site. Or if you want to add something, remember to go up to upload and then select it. You can play with optimizing. We worked on optimizing in the last class. You can use either Photoshop or the PicMonkey. So I'm trying to build on the skills we've been working on. And then you'd publish it. And then the only other thing for the assignment that you would do, you could create this page first. I'm not going to save this. But you want to go to testimonials, and at least add a new testimonial. It can be a real one, fake one. I already did a John, and I did one for me. Add a testimonial, and You want to make sure when you add it, you give it a category so it shows. Choose one of the two categories that I sort of labeled, and it will probably show up at the bottom in here. So this list might start growing, which isn't correct. We don't want this long thing, but we're just playing with things right now. And I'm pretty much having you just add a testimonial so that you can add it into the content page. So if you name it and you add it in here and you put some content in for it, it'll be a choice that you can choose from the drop-down menu when you build your page.
Okay. What's the part about the category?
Okay, so when you, and this one, in order to get it to show up on that front page, because I have already put it in there, if you give it a category, like I've got, I gotta delete this one. I don't know if I can't delete a category. I misspelled that one, but you can add a category here because you might want to choose them. Right now I have it selected on this home page to choose all categories to do this, and that's why we have two coming in here. This one I think is just selected as one setup, but you want to give it a category because then you can choose that category or you can choose the name. So like if you had 3 listed in that category, you can have just all the ones in that category come up. It just helps you preset it so that you can use the plugin a little bit more efficiently later depending on how you use it. So you want to give it a category. You can add a new one. Go ahead and make a new one if you guys want, just to do it. And after you get done with this, I mean, you don't have to copy the short code like I was copying it because it actually allows you to choose it from here. But you have to have the cursor where you want it to be. Oh wait, no, I'm in a testimonial, not on a page. So if I was on the page, you would click on testimonials and it would drop down and then you can select it. I'm in the testimonials. If I go back to a page, so I just put my cursor and go up here and I can choose a single and I can choose it from here, and you can play with style if you want to. And it inserted it right here. And remember, to see what it looks like, you just see the code. You can preview your changes. And remember, I would stick with previewing your changes because your page is not linked to the menu. You won't be able to find it, so hit preview to see what it looks like. So I brought this one in and I changed it was in a different format than this one. And that's how it brought another one in that I brought in. Because I chose the dark theme, because there's like 4 themes that you could choose from it. And this one's the clean theme up here. But it just brought the testimonial in there. But that's how you would choose it.
So there's no way to format it so that quote isn't crashing with anything.
That it's what?
Basically, you know how the quote's kind of crashing with the text?
Yeah, it's how it's
just how it is.
How this one is here. You would actually go, change the formatting. That would be custom styling it.
But you can't change how it looks when it comes in, so it's the same, wherever you place it.
You would choose it. So
there's no way to.
Right, as long as you chose to consistently choose this one. just remember to choose the same theme that you use whenever you inserted it. You might want it different per page.
But you can't change the theme itself because it's the free version or something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you want them all to look, I just changed it, I think, to the same theme as the top one. So now this one has the same theme. So yeah, we'd have to play with settings, to customize that, which we'll go do some of that a little bit later. We'll just work with, how they come in pre-formatted, how they look, and the value of it is once you have it set, you have consistency throughout. So every time you bring in a quote, it's going to look the same. So then your users get comfortable. They always recognize, that without, doing a startling change, going, whoa, what's that? You'd want to definitely stick with the same styling once you decided throughout without your theme, without throughout the website. And I wonder if I can change. I'm just going to go over and see how we change that one to bring in more. Okay, so I'm going to do, I got to change to all categories. Save. And you got to learn the settings that do what. So now I changed this to do all. So this whole sidebar is going to show up to 5, in here. And then this one I'll change to 1. It's a footer. I would just change that to 1. The footer just gets too long. So now we only have 1 that shows up down here. And you could, probably keep this at 2 or 3 here. So there's a lot of stuff you gotta, take some time to figure it out. And we'll go over a contact form for another class. That's a great plugin. You don't have to write the code for your forms. It's really there's some really nice form plugins, which Ray I think looked at one, but we can do that for another class. So that's pretty much what I was gonna do for class. I was just gonna go till about 11:30 today. And give you enough to work with. But questions? Thoughts?
Just have to play around with it, I think.
Yeah.
Can we bring in another plugin and play with it if we want, or?
Yeah, if you want to get daring and bring in another plugin.
Or reckless. Right?
Yeah. What would be valuable is to try another testimonial plugin, but you'd have to turn off that one. Yeah, we won't go there. That would be class 1 because, say, if Ray was working, he'd be like, "Wait, where did my plugin just go?" If Andrew decided to turn it off.
What about another like functionality plugin? Like
yeah, another
email or.
Yeah, just to bring it in. And those it might allow you to play in the widget area a little bit, because right now I have this contact form that comes right in here in the widget. I'm going to go turn that off because we need to start. I left the site kind of where I played last. No, I don't want that. I take out the form so there's more room for you guys to, if you wanted to put something in the sidebar, You guys do know the difference between a sidebar and a footer now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. So if you guys wanted to play with these, just remember over here, don't take out the testimonial one. Don't take anything out, add stuff, okay? Just in case, you know, Ray wanted to see how the testimonial was looking. So add things. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the search out for now. You can add stuff over here if you wanted to, because, you know, we pulled a calendar in. You know, you can drag and drop if you want, or you can click and it'll ask you, do you want footer or sidebar? So there are two ways to bring them over here. So if you do play with a new plugin and you're like, I want to see what the widget does, it will come into this list and it will have its name. See, I was able to find this easy testimonial. These are all some other, you know, widgets that are here. Did you notice there's a lot more widgets in this page versus when you were working on your other WordPress sites? The list wasn't as long. So we're going to have a lot more stuff to play with and add to. But yeah, by all means, just remember to plugins, click Add New to add it. And you can do your research right here. So you can actually do your research here if you want to look at some new plugins, just so it keeps you more comfortable with your workspace. And you'll never have to upload a plugin. That's only if you buy one that's not in here. And then you would do your research here and to find the plugin that you want. And, you know, read through, you can click on to learn about the different plugins. And you know, you can, this one I already have installed. It's not active right now. If it says, ooh, it doesn't say install, that means it's already on the website. So the install will install it. It's a click to install. And then you gotta, you know, click activate after you've done it. And then it'll be loaded in. And then you gotta go learn about it. So if you want to go that route, you can. Or if you find a research one and you're like, well, let's do this at class, I don't want to go any further, then maybe we'll have something to play with during our next class. And
sorry, what was the activate button versus install?
It'll give you an activate button. So okay, I have this one. Let me find one. Let me do okay, so Mail Munch, I do use this subscription. Nope, forms 3 weeks ago. Mail Munch forms. Okay, I'm just gonna. So if I found a plugin I wanted to use, you click install, and then it'll be a blue activate button. So that will turn it on. So first one is to download it, installs it to your server in WordPress. And now activate turns it on. I'm a little slow. And then it will bring you immediately to the plugin information. So if there's some, you know, right now this one I need to immediately connect to my MailChimp account. And this is one that would bring in the emails right to my account, and I would just link it up, and then there's forms to work. So it'll bring you right to it, and if there's some, you know, how-to videos, your support if you need help, and here's a quick tutorial video on this one. But so that would be how you would add a new plugin. Pretty easy. It seems scary when you're like, this seems like I'm bringing a lot of stuff in, but it's easy. It's pretty much, you know, hit a few buttons. And the work is learning about it. How are you going to make it work? How does it integrate into the website? Because Because I'm going to go over to plugins and I'm going to delete this one because we won't work with it. Because I don't have an account. And getting rid of one, if you're like, ooh, geez, if you remember what you just brought in, you come over. So I brought in MailChimp's form, so you have to deactivate it first, which is turning it off. And I delete. And that's how you get rid of a plugin that you don't want. And now it's gone. It says it deleted it.
I also see on your site it says Howdy Caraface.
Yeah, I'm logged in. Yours should say Howdy Andrew or Howdy.
But it says Caraface.
Oh, it does?
Not just Cara.
Oh, me?
Yeah, it's being familiar with you.
Oh no, that's actually that's my username for the site, Caraface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's my nickname for years and years. So now I use it as my username, and I never run into problems getting it. So
That's nice.
yep. So I'll post up these steps. They probably won't be up until this evening just because of my schedule. But, feel free after class if you just want to, play in there a little bit too. Or right now while it's fresh in your mind, if you want to go build your page, you can do that. And I'm having you build your own page because we can't all work on the same page. And it will flag you. So if you started looking around the site and say I was working, it would say, oops, Kara's currently editing this page. It does give you the option to take it over. You could steal it from me if you wanted to. And but it's a safeguard, so you won't write over if somebody's working on something. So but I think that'll give you some stuff to work on, get familiar with. If you want to make a couple pages, we can do that. Nothing's linked. If nothing's linked up, so you won't be able to find it in the menu. I did review making menus, but you guys might not remember how to put in a menu. So if you want to, you're just to look at that page, the best way, a page that's not in a menu, is to grab, if you can remember this, this permalink is the page. So if you really wanted just the page, because it's not linked, you can't get it to the menu. Oops, that didn't work. You can click edit, and it's basically the last little bit. I pulled too much in. Then you put it at the end of the URL, so that the page name you pull up. That'll be something you'll learn how to do quickly too.
So can we put it on the menu instead, or
if you can remember how to put it on the menu, you can put it wherever you want. Remember, we're just playing with this. You can add it under services. I don't have anything under about, blog. I have, this is just totally, and you can't ruin anything. This is just a work site for us to sort of play with it before we give you your own sites. And the reason why I'm having you work on this is I manage this site back here, and I do backups of it. So if I need to restore it, I can do that. So if all of a sudden you're like, Kara, it's gone, I have a white screen, I'll hit a restore button and bring it back.
So you're controlling the sandbox. That's good.
Yeah, and I can fix. This is so I can fix things, and do that. But so does that give you enough to play with?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So go play. I'm gonna actually, before I forget,